business.
About 10,000 feet.
Meeting back to
They
order.
were talking a little bit about that. And of course, if you're closer to town, because you could be just outside the limits, but it took, I don't know, you need at least, what was it, 3 miles? But if you could live just outside that, but it took 20 miles of wiring, and then you're not gonna get it. I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Few minutes past 1:30, public hearing for resolution to cancel outstanding checks.
So I'm gonna give this, you guys, in case anybody shows up for the public comment.
So at this time, we'll close the meeting for the public hearing and resolution to cancel outstanding checks.
You're on, Doug.
You want to inform us, Doug? No one else here on.
These are just checks that at the end that we can carry in each month when I do my balancing. And according to statute, this is why I printed it off, it says that canceled warrants must be canceled. Same thing with all warrants, and the county treasurer will deliver these to the board. And if they should be, if they're uncalled for 1 year or more, then it's time for them to be canceled. We've had a couple this year that people found in the attic or wherever they keep them, and sent them to the bank, and they were cashed, even being 15, 18 months old.
I thought they would take
So
anything.
they're not supposed to if they're, I think it's 6 months. And they-
So these people gave you a check?
No, we sent them checks.
You sent them a check?
Yeah, and these are just, and some of these, are so old I couldn't even find any details on them. I would look up the journal and, if it was in Tyler, I could look up the journal and usually it would say, usually when we put a refund, I try to tell people who they're refunding to, what it's for. Some of them, like that number 6100, the second one on the list, all it said on the journal was refund. They didn't have a name or a tax ID. But I would assume that the biggest majority of these are probably from tax overpayment or motor vehicle overpayments.
I don't know who the ML Bar Ranch is, but my gosh,
Yeah.
2,400. They should just send it to me then, if they don't mind.
Going back to 2002, that's quite a long time.
Yeah, this hasn't been
Yeah, it
done
is.
for a while.
Can I ask, do you have the total amount of the,
$4,146.70. Which would just be money going back into the general fund.
Yeah. What, no, I can't think of that guy's name. Down Bozeman way. Owns a lot of the land at Toston, and he did. I think that's who that ML Bar Ranch is. He's a big dude.
Yeah, it's just like all different. some of
Michael
it's-
Humphrey.
Yeah,
But I don't know if that's him.
I don't think it is.
So basically what this is checks Broadwater County wrote to these folks that they never cashed.
Right,
So what we want, because of how old they are, we want to just cancel them out, take them to zero. They
Yep.
can't be cashed now any kind of way because of their age. Okay,
and just
that's
put the
clear.
money back in the general fund and not have to write this list every month and say these checks are still outstanding.
Right, especially when we're going back to 2002.
Yeah, and I think it's, right now, it should be done each year, but right now it's really, I think, more important than most, because in July, we're gonna lose our access to CSA for Tyler. And so any
anything outstanding.
anything, yeah, any of our documents that we don't have saved somewhere, any information on those is gonna be lost completely.
Fred Randolph's such an old type.
You know what that was? It had something to do with, I think that was about the time that somebody went up there and plowed his driveway. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing I remember it happening. Because I remember we sent him a check for $75 and he said, well, I'm not gonna cash it. Well, he didn't. He didn't. For
Yeah,
whatever
I
reason, he
think- I
just,
think you're right on that.
yeah, he just decided he wasn't gonna cash that check, so he just burned it or shredded or did whatever he did, put it on a plaque on the wall. I don't know what he did with it.
You know, you never see either one of them around anymore.
No.
So for what it's worth, since there's so many people here on this, I'm all in favor of this resolution. For
Sure.
public comment,
You're the only public here.
pretty much.
Yeah, you're press.
But yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that most of these are from overpayment on taxes, and the ones that aren't overpayment on taxes are either motor vehicle overpayment or, well, this one said Fairbooth rental, it didn't say who rented it. It was just Fairbooth Rentals, back to 2004, so.
Hmm. So will that money go to the fair booth?
No,
2160 to the fair?
Usually what happens is, Michelle will come in with all of her vendors for the fair
Mhm.
and charge them, I'm not sure how she sets up what they're charged. But if someone takes half the space that they wanted, then they'll get a refund, I think. Or if somebody doesn't show up, sometimes you give them a refund. I think that's what that is, but I don't have any way to prove it.
Mhm.
I don't know if she's got record to go back 11 years or not.
If there's no more comments, we'll close this public meeting and open up our regular meeting.
I move that we sign the resolution proposed by Doug upon hearing no public comment other than in support. The resolution canceling uncalled warrants, bond on, need to be named with the date of insurance between 2002 and 2013.
Second.
No further discussion, we move to second it, and we go along with the resolution to cancel, the words cancel these outstanding checks.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay. I will-
You've got a copy of the resolution in your packet.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
it needs to be filled out
I just
before we
will
sign
get
it.
a copy of it. I copied everything.
And brought it to us.
Yeah. So,
What is that, Fred? What
I
did you
just made a copy of everything, so you
Oh.
all three of you have a copy of it.
That's what you just give us, you mean?
Yeah.
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 Let's look for the number of that resolution. It was in this, but it isn't in here now. Copy of the resolution was in this agenda. We need to just make one more check.
Here's my statement.
He's got it, he just, yeah, it's just under his paper clip.
No, there's a copy in here too, if you.
Oh,
I think
it's-
that's it, or whatever that.
Right there. Yep,
Yeah, it should
under
be the
that.
second page.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, okay. We just gotta get the resolution number. That's what I was looking for in that.
The resolution number, I will take care of.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right.
Okay, drawn on. Now, those are all, I assume, Townsend State Bank went there.
Yep, they're all out of our,
And
General checking
Townsend State
account.
Bank is what I want. Or
State
Bank
Bank
of
of
Townsend. State Bank
Townsend.
of Townsend.
It's amazing to think how long that bank's been there.
Been there a long time.
Or afternoon, I guess.
and the one
Okay.
down here, is
Isn't that amazing?
$4,146. $0.70.
Okay, and this is the 8th day of June.
And actually, I have this page on my computer, and I'm also gonna put it down where our checks are in the basement, so we'll have it for at least 7 years.
Guess I'll just
Very
hand
good.
it back to you and you can handle sign it there.
All right.
You put the board right.
I believe it needs all three commissioner signatures on a resolution.
Oh, okay, there's only one
There's
line.
only one room, I don't know who that, I think I had Wendy draw that up. That's okay.
So how many people is Greg got working for him?
I don't know, he didn't say that I heard.
About 35, 40 people. What's that?
You want me to just keep it?
Yeah.
35, 40, that's Greg at the.
Where, Graymont?
But thank you guys.
Oh,
Thanks, Doug.
Okay, yeah, thanks, come over to
He
that.
spoke at the, chamber meeting.
oh, I don't, oh, I'm sorry.
I just thought you knew something we didn't.
I was eavesdropping.
Hmm?
I was eavesdropping. Point of order, none of those checks were payable to me, were they?
No, I checked to see if.
No such luck, Mike.
Oh, darn.
Besides that, you wouldn't have let him go that long.
No. I'll make a motion to approve minutes of June 1st, 2015.
I will second that motion.
Motion's made to set minutes of June 1st, 2015. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Want to make them for June 3rd?
I'll make it for June 3rd. I move we adopt the minutes of June 3rd as submitted.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we adopt the minutes of June 3rd. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. A little time yet before we go to Mr. Conley's. This is from that I brought you before noon there. The new extension agent apparently,
No,
isn't it?
no. What that is the printer in the clerk and recorder's office was not working. They called the printer doctor and asked him to come in and change some parts out to fix it. He said, you can't get these parts anymore, it's too old. So he said, but I have some almost brand new machines for $24.90, $24.49, something like that. You guys will see it on those slips. Would you like one of those instead? Doug talked to me about it, and he said, I think we should get at least two. We've been hearing that we had some other printers in the same boat. They're very, very old, there's no new parts, and they're starting to show wear and tear, and this is a tremendously good price. So I said, yeah, let's get two, and we'll see who else needs it. In the meantime, Allison came to talk to me, and she said, my printer isn't working. So I said, oh, just so happens, we might have a second one. So that's why it has extension on there. He's also talked to the sheriff and to the judge's office, because they use also old printers that need some work. He has, I believe, a dozen or so of those printers. He earns his living on the ongoing maintenance of them and supplying parts. So this is just wholesaling out the machines. So just brought those forward for you. The question
Looks
is,
to me like a good deal.
yeah, we could potentially be getting 4. We have just 2 at this point. Question is, do you guys support it? And 2, where should we pay for them from?
So, you still have to have a claim made out,
Oh, yes,
and just give it to her.
yes, but Payment from what source was my question?
I'll make a motion that we purchase these printers. What have we got in that contingency fund?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but I think we had at least 5,000 unspent.
What about
The-
Field?
The question was, you know, the one upstairs here, you know, has been used by, I know Franklin's taken copies in there, so it's used by the county-wide. The extension will be shared with weed at least, if not other departments in the future, search and rescue, EMTs, law enforcement. The one in the clerk and recorder's office, granted we put in code, but it is used
Yeah.
by
But
the
there is no
county.
codes anymore.
All right, so it's just used by the county. So I think, you know, we should investigate either the contingency or metal lines that didn't go to those computers, or there's other options. Certainly PILT can be looked at as well.
I make a motion then that we pay for these two computer printers out of the contingency fund in the commissioner's line items, but also be open to listening to more that might be in need, because this is a heck of a price.
Yeah, I agree. I'll second that, and maybe we can readdress our contingency fund. We do have some money coming back into that from the Deep Creek project.
Mhm.
That could go to help out with this as well.
Yep.
Okay, so the motion been made and second. Do we pay for the two computers out of the contingency fund? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
I just have a question, so two computers for $25.49?
Actually,
I
they're
mean,
two
copy-
printers.
They're copy machines is what they are.
Okay, is that different from printers?
Well,
Printers copy?
They are
they,
actually.
they
aren't
do
they?
practically everything,
That was my mistake, sorry Sharon.
But it's
but they
the
are
two for
primarily.
that price,
Right.
okay.
Each,
Oh, each?
Right.
at the 24, yeah. 24.95, isn't it?
24.95.
Yeah, each.
See, I thought it was the same bill as another copy, but there is a difference. The
Mhm.
date and everything all the same, other than the meter reading is different on it.
Well, it may be wise, because a good time of year to be, people that have got money left over can buy a printer.
Right. So Tammy will need some direction on those when you give them to her, Franklin.
Okay. Got, mosquito. Needs a signature on it.
Speaking of
Okay.
mosquitoes, Saturday night, no, Friday night, I was standing out front visiting, and I had more than one mosquito landed to bite.
To contract, of course, we used to have it in-house under extension. To contract is $485 per hour.
Per hour?
Per hour, yeah. So, you know, we don't have a choice this year because our new extension agent wasn't licensed. She is working on that, and she's open-minded to learn and wants to be involved with the board. But, you know, when you don't have it in-house, that's what you're paying for contract. But that, so, you know, that's,
And on their time, rather than our time.
well, right, we saw that Friday with the mosquitoes. Now, I don't know what the issues are with larviciding at this point, or adulticiding, which is, of course, not nearly as effective. But, you know, it's gonna give us a good comparison this year to last year, and
Yeah, it is.
give us some tools to make final decisions.
There was no lot, but there was some.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, we all want none, you know, that's not realistic either.
That's called utopia.
It is, yeah.
Here's another from WWC Planning Floodplain Support. 2560 needs a, see what the floodplain folks have happened to say here. I'm assuming it's a Freeport's area.
Well, part of it is discussion with the city, the county attorney, and Mike Meyer regarding the building project. And work with Drew on project permitting for the county project. Work with the city of Townsend to find out what kind of permits are needed for the shop project.
And this has to go on those new buildings there.
Part of it does.
And every stall, you know, of course, will add more money. Every additional public meeting. We've had 24 now since July of 2013. That's more than 2 a month. And that's just with the commission. That's not including other night meetings. Every single one of those is gonna add to the bill, so we have to be aware of those realities.
Here's part, travel to Three Forks area to meet with Al Anderson, Hillard Thornton regarding floodplain issues. Return to Helena and write up description of meeting with Anderson and Clefton. Download photos to properties. There's a little bit of everything on this. Looks to me like some of it can come out of planning though.
Possibly, yeah. I didn't review the specifics.
Well, I'm not taking it out of commissioners, so I'm drawing a line through this. I'll take it down to Tammy and we'll figure out what we're doing with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there more?
Let's see, what's this one?
Oh, that's payroll.
Payroll, this is in the amount, oh, that's what this is from 5 to 515, and this one's from 529. Okay, the one, 515 is $169,230.33.
Move to approve payroll.
Second.
And the second one is $155,133.90.
Did we vote on the first one? I think we need to finish that before you move on to claims, Franklin.
Yeah.
Huh?
Are these both payroll?
Yeah, it doesn't seem,
So that's what I saw that earlier, I don't know why there's
Do they both say payroll on them?
yeah.
the paper, yeah. And this one, the only difference is, well, the total amount was 515, 15, to 515, 15. And this is 529, 15. to 529. This has to be the last one.
529 would be for the payment at the end of the month.
Right.
The other one must be the mid-month payment.
What would show the big,
Would have been the one paid on the 15th.
that's the first time I ever had them both double up like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did they maybe not inadvertently not get sent? I don't know.
Okay, I'll call for the question on the first one.
The first one was
169.
169, okay, we have, motion made and second, to make payments for payroll of 169, $230.33. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Now I guess we need a separate motion for this.
I'll make a motion to pay payroll 155, 133.90.
Second.
Okay, we move to second, payroll $155,133.90. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
It's usually a stream, it's the first time we've ever had it.
Motion passed.
Just sign by where the
Yeah,
sticky note
I see it
is,
there. Okay, it is 2 o'clock, I've been 2 anyway, so Mike Conkey, DES, open bids for RFF for pre-disaster mitigation grants.
Morning, sir.
Yeah,
Doing stuff all the time.
Hey, Mike.
How y'all doing?
Good, thanks.
How about you?
Excellent. Nice weather. Wow, you want me to bring some mosquitoes in? I have a few out there. I can bring
Do
in.
ya?
Yeah. You said you wanted a few in town? Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, this is a copy of the request for proposal that I sent out. It was based upon Montana DES sent one out. And we sent it out to, I think, about 5 vendors. We've got 3 packages back. And we're gonna start on page 3 of this. And it's middle contents and requirements. These have been unopened. The purpose of this meeting is to open all 3 of them out of 5. We have 3 of them. And on each one I wrote the date it was received. And they all met the deadline, the middle. And we won't make a decision today. According to this PDF, we would have a committee that I'd like to sit down with and go through this meeting. And we then invite people into interviews. We have that option. And this is from Terra Tech out of Helena, Montana. And they were to submit 10 copies of our proposal. And I'll give the commissioners and the clerk a copy. And I'd like to have a committee of myself, and I've asked
Thank you.
Julie, my deputy, one of my deputies, and I've asked Nicole, she's out of town until tomorrow, to go through this, and I'd like one of the commissioners, or all 3 commissioners, if they want to, get together sometime, and just sit down and go through these different proposals, and kind of rate them. On this page 3, each one has to have a submittal letter, and this first one came from Terra Tech. Did you want a copy?
If I can.
Is that okay, Commissioner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've got copies for the rest of my committee. And it's just, what we need to do is sit down, kind of this little committee, sit down, and evaluate each one of these. And out of these 3, decide if we want to meet, have interviews, invite them in this week to interview with them if they're available, and then make an evaluation of this PDF on page 4 as a criteria, how we should rank them. And the purpose of today's meeting is just to put on the record those that submitted proposals and make sure that they qualify. Will qualify.
I'm just gonna see you in your pocket.
I probably can't bring pocket change, but you got your pocket change. All right.
I got pocket money.
This proposal came from KLJ. I don't know if it's on there.
Just KLJ.
Yes. KLJ, I think they have an office in Bozeman, I believe. Here's their proposal.
Thank you.
Let's see, where are they from? KLJ. There's Bozeman.
It is.
Are you familiar with them?
No, I just read
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's over in the corner.
Standing Drive, Suite 3, next door to my dentist.
Oh, right, next door to your dentist.
Yeah.
They're at our conferences all the time.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
I was pleased we got 3 different proposals rather than.
Forrest Sanderson is CFN. This is his dad and mom. Bill and,
Could we have Susan?
yes. And Dr. Moore it is. When you look at the picture, you can tell it is. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any doubt?
No doubt at all.
Third proposals for Respect, I believe they are also on both of them. Yeah. Now, to review, this is a federal grant. We got a federal grant from FEMA. And we have to, I think every 4 or 5 years, upgrade our county pre-disaster mitigation plan. And the purpose of the plan is to develop hazard planning for our community, both man-made disasters as well as natural disasters. And we've got $25,000 of cash from FEMA, which represents 75% of the total cost. And then we have to put up in-kind soft money of $8,333. And we're gonna do that for some of our, keep track of those who attend LAPC meetings. And we have to have a series of 2 series of public meetings. First series is do an assessment of hazards. We're gonna try to do these in small communities as well as right here in town. We also want to be involved with like Broadway County economic development, and we also want to be involved with Chamber of Commerce. Because if we have a disaster, it's gonna affect the economy of the community. And we want these communities, these businesses to help get back in resilience, respond, get back and recover. Of course, the big important thing is feed people, shelter people, immediate needs, and after that is just to get the services back in, power up running, and get water service, and sewage, and here in the city of town, and then we try to get the transportation facilities back up and going. So we have partners with not only the road crew and the city crew, we also partner with Montana DES and the railroad and stuff. So these are the 3 proposals, and I'd like this week to sit down at some time. One of the commissioners want to meet with us? Franklin or Lang or Lauren? Would you like to kind of accommodate your schedule this week? I know Julie's interested in doing this, and I talked to Nicole, but she won't be back until tomorrow. She's on vacation apparently. And then we sit down and take this home, take a look at it, read it, and then based upon the criteria, and then sit down if we want to interview any or all 3 of these. Try to schedule that this week, get them in, and try to select somebody by next Tuesday. That's in our, we have a timetable here, schedule, if you look on top of page 5 is our table. This week, we set aside for interviews. Next week, we're gonna try to select somebody. Now, we reserve the right to reject all these, the county has, and we also can resubmit or, re-invite, but I think these will all be adequate. These different proposals, we just have to select a proposal.
I am tied up with doctor's appointments. I got a certified letter from my doctors.
You did?
Yes, and so I have.
That doesn't sound good.
No,
Well, I hope everything works out for you.
can't keep a good Irish girl down, I gotta fight hard.
That's right.
So,
You are Irish.
yeah, I am.
Very much so. Very good.
Wednesday or Thursday, tomorrow I can't, and I can't Friday,
Okay.
unless it was late.
I thought we'd do it here in downstairs in the former commission room, just sit down, visit, I'd like to have the 2 deputies involved. I kinda like to have Nicole, she's done a lot of planning before, strategic planning stuff, I'll kinda do with this stuff. But, I'll try to bring at that time, in the meantime, I will give each commissioner a floppy disk of our 2009 plan that I have. And I did print it, but it's just so much stuff. And each vendor, if they want it, they can have access to it. I think the last time it was Big Sky Hazard Mitigation out of Bozeman did our plan, updated it 2009. This is one of our requirements if we want to continue to get Homeland Security grant money, and we want to get FEMA for the Emergency Management Performance Grant, EMPG grant, which is part of the DES salary, Mike's salary and office expense. And if we want to get after post-disaster funding, we need to have one of these that's Band-Aid funded. So one of these things, I don't see a lot of changes in it, but I think it'd be a good chance to look at it. I think we want to emphasize this time, not only the public sector, but we want to look at the private sector. Now, when I went out on a fire in 2012, the Ash Creek Fire, which is where we started in, Busby, which is where my actual burn, kind of show 250,000 acres. When we got there, we were going to set up at Ashland as our base camp. We couldn't, because the fire had burned through there during the night and we're out of power. A couple days later, they restored power to Ashland. But the first morning, I went over to Broadus, Tennessee, to visit with the sheriff's office, that would be Powder River. And they were out of power, and that community was out of electricity for 9 days. And they were very resilient in the sense that by day 2, they had a gas station that was out pumping gas. And then by day 3, they had their IGX outdoor with gas, electricity generators parked in the alley and power switched over to the generators. This was all mobile stuff that came in. And then they had a little theater stuff, they had air conditioning, where we had public meetings, there was a little theater there. And things like that, but the business community came together, well, pretty soon, the courthouse had a generator, an older generator that they burned up that for 12 hours. It was an old one, very similar to what we had at one time when we were over here, the old jail. So they had to bring in another one, and a lot of businesses had generators and stuff. And it was very hot, it was 100-degree temperature over there. We want to focus not only on the local government, well, I would like to look at the business community, try to bring them, be prepared as well as individual citizens.
That's a great idea.
But,
But now this first meeting is just some of us and you and your deputies
I
going
think-
through this.
Right, I think we should just meet down and go through each one of these proposals and evaluate, and look at their qualifications. And have they done this before? That's all supposed to be in their proposal. We have a criteria sheet to follow, and everything, we want to look through there, and if we like them, they put together good proposals, they might have done one, say, for Billings or somewhere else, or another small community. We might get online and look at theirs. They're supposed to post ours on their website, and that's how
Nice.
the public accesses it from their website. And they should have some of these, like I said, I haven't seen those. I wanted to open them before, the public meeting. And I thought we'd just sit down and just kind of study this, kind of do our homework. You each
Well,
got a
you're really
copy.
gonna have to fine tooth comb it, because all 3 bids are the same price.
That's true, but I think we can find those that can present themselves the best, that have experience, have educational background. There's, 25 points for professional qualifications, 25 points for experience with similar projects, 40 points for understanding the methodology of writing one of these, whatever the federal requirements are. And we can get a copy of those, they're online. And then there's 10 points for available resources in the consultant location. Like if they're, like the one's out of Helena, and I believe the other one's out of Bozeman, I believe. 2 out of Bozeman. So that's convenient, they can come to our community easily. And, if somebody's out of Billings or somewhere, it'd be a long ways to travel. They're gonna be actually the ones that keep track of everything, all the in-kind match for us, and do the quarterly reports. They submit them to me, I'll review them, and then we'll forward them quarterly basis to Montana DES. Make sure we qualify. This will be another one of those things where we pay the vendor at the end and request reimburse. I don't like that type of a system, but that's the way Montana DES does it. Now, public health, with their emergency funds for Linden down here, they give the money out in advance and then they spend it. And then afterwards, they evaluate how that money during that fiscal year was spent. And the administrator of the public health program is now, beginning on the 1st of June, is now the administrator for the Montana Disaster Emergency Services Division. Delilah, she's done a really good job. You probably met her at different meetings and stuff. So we're looking forward to a new approach over Montana DES. So it'll be refreshing. Yes, Commissioner?
How long do you think, you want to have it?
I think we should try.
Morning or afternoon, or?
I think probably afternoons would be best. I have water to change in the morning. I thought maybe we'd sit and have a work session for about an hour. I'm gonna go through these at night and try to study up and see how much time we should spend. I think if we get the two, I'll give these to Nicole and Julie today. And so I thought maybe if we get together, see, Wednesday night and Thursday night, I have meetings in Helena, you know, that Montana Fire Station. You probably read in the paper and stuff. They start at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna go to those meetings. And then the evening on Thursday, I think, we've invited the sheriff and Ed Schindel to meet too. They have a kind of a town hall meeting, usually the Doolittle and Dutton, Sheriff Doolittle, Sheriff Dutton, and our sheriff. They sit there and answer questions with their fire chiefs. What happens and how we're prepared to evacuate communities and stuff. But to answer your question, I think perhaps in the afternoon,
Maybe Wednesday?
Wednesday we could do something. That would be great. Probably about 2 o'clock.
So you'd have time that you could get to your meeting?
I could later in the evening. They don't start till 6, yes, Wednesday.
Okay, so.
All right.
2 or 3, whatever.
We could do that, yes. I think so, about 2 o'clock. It'll be our first meeting on Wednesday.
I have a conflict, but since Franklin's interested, I think. he
When would be a
should.
better time for you? Morning?
Probably late morning even, of
Late
a
morning?
Wednesday, yeah, 11-ish.
11? What do you
Does
think
that
about
work for
11?
you? Or
Wednesday,
even
11?
lunch, you could bring sack lunches,
That would be
12
fun.
noon.
I think so. I
11 o'clock?
gotta look at.
You wanna look at your schedule?
Because Thursday is, Tossin
Tuesday
irrigation.
works for me too all day.
No, Tuesday you have meetings,
Tossin irrigation,
that's in the evening, yeah.
yeah, so, but Wednesday.
No,
I
Thursday in the
think-
morning at 9 o'clock, I have to be at Tri-County Fire Safe Working Group, Helen.
But Youth Justice Council all day, 9 to 4.
On Thursday, all day, so we better get together.
Wednesday at, what time did you say?
11 o'clock, sack lunch. You want-
Wednesday at what time?
You wanna be noon, Wednesday at noon, sack lunch downstairs,
Sure,
okay?
works.
Noon on Wednesday, is that all right, Commissioner Slivka?
I think so. I just gotta write it down here.
It's gonna be the 10th, isn't it?
Yes,
I'll
all
come depending
day.
on,
All
No, it
day,
all
it's gonna be the
shakes out.
10th, we're not gonna meet all day,
Your
no.
lunch comes first. Or your lunch, your health.
Yeah, your health comes first.
I'm writing sack lunch.
Wednesday at noon,
10th at
let
12.
me tell you what.
12 noon
does
downstairs in
is
the
certified letter from your
commission room.
doctors.
Oh, I bet you heard words.
And
And you know what? Good for
what do
Bob.
we call this? Just
I'm with Bob on this.
This is gonna be for the DES, pre-disaster mitigation.
If I just put DES. in.
Yep. That would be good, okay. I got little CDs from everybody.
Rat.
I've been called that before.
Try not to write.
Now, keep these things separate.
Well, good reading, everybody. That's
You
fine.
kind of expect us to do our homework before showing up, huh, Mike?
Well, I'll do mine and do the best we can. I haven't done this before, so I'll need some guidance. Do that.
We'll all guide each other.
Okay, we'll work together to solve this problem. There. Get all figured out. I got enough garbage,
I don't think I'd call it garbage out loud. You've got some
Lot of
really great
information.
information.
Pardon?
I wouldn't call it garbage out loud.
Don't go down here. This is garbage here.
Oh, all
That's
right.
what I'm referring
All
to. I
right.
didn't mean the stuff on the table.
Making sure.
Stay corrected. I'll take it.
Okay.
No, we don't want to leave the court. I just. for me.
You do good work, Mike, thank you.
Well, I'm learning, thank you very
I
much.
guess we'll see you Wednesday, huh?
Wednesday at noon downstairs, yep. Okay.
I will if I can.
Okay, very good. I think I've got everything I need. I take my lid, it's kind of hot out there. Sunday.
Yeah, I looked out here a while ago, it was 91.
Really?
I looked
At the bank?
Yeah, the
It's
bank should
supposed to
have.
be 92, it was
Wow.
70 at 8
Okay,
o'clock.
then drop in garbage.
No,
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thanks, Mike. Did Mary Ellen forget about us?
No, she did not. For some reason, there was a meeting that was scheduled for the 10th of June with Mary Ellen with mental health in the LAC. It was, we need to still post that, because she's coming Wednesday, she made the appointment. So I'm not sure why that didn't get added to the newspaper advertising, but it does need to be posted by the chairman. So she's coming Wednesday at 10 o'clock, and she's got a crew of people coming to see us on these things. This is also something we're gonna be working with, the hospital and the Board of Health on, that we talked a little bit about at the Board of Health meeting last week,
So this Wednesday,
at 10 o'clock, needs to be posted.
okay.
Okay, well, that's, same day we're at DES.
Mm-hmm.
At noon, so she's coming at 10. I mean, there's a difference of 2
Yeah.
hours between the two.
If I'm not there, you know I'm at.
You're taking care of your priorities, yes.
So just a
I'm
minute.
hoping they're calling to say they got a new body for me.
That'd be nice. You can pick all the things that you want.
That's right. You know, you go to these dinners like the other night at the hospital, and you look around, how many people are missing anymore?
Yeah,
How many of them can be missing next year?
yeah, yeah. Very tough.
This is the agreement we signed with. I signed it there, I'm gonna sign it 2 places in apparently. Maybe I signed it, maybe I didn't really sign it.
It's signed.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, I don't know. Maybe that's just,
They probably had sent, when we sent it back, and then they signed it, and now they're sending.
the copies back, so that'll probably go to Ann, I guess.
Actually, it goes down into the commissioners, you can give it to Ann as, for copies, but it goes into the commissioners' files. Do you need another copy of this?
Okay, here's from the Public Service Commission, L&L Site Service Incorporated, and they're filing an application with Belgrade. Garbage between all points of place in Galvin County, Montana. If anybody's interested in that at all. This was for Melissa Drummer, I don't know why. Oh, here's the. Okay, here's the MOU for,
Did you get an envelope with this?
no, I don't think it was in an envelope.
That was returned to sender, so we're gonna have to give that back to Nicole with another address. She's moved to town, so it might be what the issue was with that.
This is our MOU with Wool Grower Association for our,
We just want money.
right. On this, the sheep is, it's $1,030. I guess that's what it has been. I know sheep was, now, I guess we can vote on this one separate, and there's, the other one here is for the cattle livestock.
Both of them are predatory animals.
Yeah, right,
We
right.
don't vote on them,
We just pay them.
right, I guess we can certainly vote, do we want to claim with them since it's a,
Okay,
bill
I
we have
guess,
to pay, in which case.
actually, I guess all I have to do
Process.
is just sign it then, okay.
Heck, no,
Huh?
no, you don't just sign anything. Again, the question is, do we want to attach it to a claim since it's a bill we have to pay? Or go with another process that's kind of a new process for us that one would want to invent?
That's probably best to roll with the claim. But still need to be signed here. And the one for the sheep is $1,030, and the cattle is $8,170.
By the way, speaking of cattle, I paid my cattle thing the other day, and I was not happy. Was it big? No, it wasn't. But it was the idea that I didn't have a clue. It was not with my regular taxes. And I told Doug. And so he was gonna bring it up today because I wasn't the only one that got hit with it and had to pay. The Department of Revenue failed to put it on the books.
Is that the one you talked about in 2010
Yeah,
that showed up?
yeah.
Well, don't we get a second bill from the state for livestock?
This is a different thing, Franklin.
Okay, this is
That's
different.
taxes. The other is predatory animal. Getting wolves and things like that.
Right,
that
right.
Attack our animals. But
And isn't, okay, go ahead, I thought that was on our tax bill. But they didn't put it on, is that what it
They
is? So
didn't
now
put it
that-
on.
Oh, all right, somebody was here and said it goes back 5 years, is that you, or?
I don't know.
Carol, or
I
somebody
just
here the other
paid.
day, okay.
Carol Pine, wasn't it her that said the same thing?
Could be.
Carolyn, another lady, but I thought it was Carol that said the same thing happened.
Well, and I know we weren't the only ones, that there was others too.
And you wanted Doug to keep a record of
Yeah, I wanna know how many people this happens to. And part of me would like to raise Cain with Department of Revenue, but I found out where the mix-up came, and I don't wanna come down on that person. So, for their sake, and they're gone from here now, so I'll just piss them off by myself. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
I heard ya.
Okay, so then on this, you went, I don't know how we did it in the past on this, and have Tam make up a,
Have them do claims and attach them to claims.
attached to the claim. For no use for me to sign, I guess you'll be signing on the claim.
No, you'll have to sign those too.
I will move that Franklin follows through with attaching both the cattle and the sheep paperwork to a claim as per our process, and sign bills at this time.
Second.
Moved seconded, I sign this, and it'll be put on a claim by county. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Yours is, you get rural Montana too.
I get to vote my
Go
pen.
to
Maybe you like
Franklin?
it just a little.
Franklin, any mail we get, and certainly that kind of mail, you can certainly share with Sharon or anyone else. Let me finish, please. But you do not give it away. That all needs to stay in the commissioner's office so that anyone who doesn't get it has a place to come to read that stuff. So it needs to go into the commissioner's office. You'll see all the other magazines when you go in there.
Look at it, it comes every month to, anyone has Vigilante, RE, Power, it's just some recipes, nice. Little articles
There's some
in there.
good recipes in there every now and then.
Right, Judy goes through those recipes every time. MDT,
Are they paving out your way now?
what's that?
Are they paving out your?
No, probably towards the end of the month. They're, we understand there's two different pavers that they use, they're both on jobs, whichever one finishes the job they're at will be when they come in here. But it sounds like it might be to the end of the month. This is, we got that big file on that, remember that big thick thing that come on the, tossed in that bridge that time?
Mhm.
This is just if there any more comments we made on anything.
It should go with the other
I'll just
stuff.
put this down there with that.
Did you pass it down here so I can get the information in the minutes, please? And I'll see it gets downstairs.
Okay, okay. And this from the Rural Land Management, they've got a proposed travel management plan, environmental assessment, Missouri River foothills. It's online, if anybody's interested.
Oh, in Broadwater County. Yeah, Lewis and Clark.
Excuse me, I need to get my cough drops out of the drawer in
I tell you, those cigarettes will get you.
here. They'll get you every time.
MDT, this is preparing the.
Hi, Val.
How are you?
They
Thanks.
subject to project update signing along the Montana Rail.
I like those signs at Princeton.
I do too. Very much.
Those kids did well.
Here's from, I think it's maybe what Corey said before that. At least with the BLM on that inventory site, I mean, the communication site.
Is that our copy or is that the one?
I'm assuming this must be our copy here. 'Cause he sent it, I think this is what he sent to each one of us, I believe I saw that. Keep that.
Yeah, this is our copy.
Elaine, it looks like Franklin forgot to send the MRL information. Probably keep that together as best we can.
I'm sorry, I just didn't get it picked up evidently.
Oh.
And it actually came after.
Now, I don't know, should ask Doug when he hears stuff on that drain ditch out there. These are building, I don't know, other than it goes through, kind of how we're involved on that. I think it was, WWC and BSE buildings. It shows the checks there.
That's something you might want to follow up on. I'm thinking it's just informational. Looks like adjusting journal entries in there. But if they want more action from the commission, then that would probably be something that Franklin needs to follow up on.
Well, and they were in court with this the other day.
Yeah, yeah. And it does look like adjusting journal entries. It's district court, it's not the county.
Right. Anything right there?
Thank you.
Didn't get any recipes?
I got their website.
Did you lose power the other day? We did. Early afternoon, we were out for a couple hours.
Michigan State University, I don't know what this is here. Food system survey, does your community address any aspects of food systems such as food production, processing? Yeah, I guess in a way we do sell out cattle and grain.
This is a survey sent to the commissioners. So, I'm not
Mr.
sure
Chairman,
if you
did you
just-
look at it?
yeah,
Oh, no.
and then just share it with the rest, yeah, share it with the rest of the commission before you do.
Okay, we'll get these. And you were taking one to Tammy too, weren't you?
Right here.
Okay, I'll get these two to take there. Anything else, or?
Hmm? What about Dana's letter?
Read through it now?
Dana's request was honorable, and it was specific. Yes, I think we do need to read through it now and discuss what it is that it's about.
Mhm. I read it one time. Well written, well stated,
Yeah,
and informational.
yeah, it needs to be addressed.
I'll let you guys read
Hey,
it. It's quiet.
This guy called me, and he told me that all these residents in there, which I don't know how many there is above him, or maybe below him too, had these issues. And that's why I told him, I says, get a petition, and I didn't say it's going against Dana or anything like that. Get a petition, or get them together, and so we know what it is. And on those culverts, the only thing I decided on that was, and that was after I talked to Danny, he said that there should have been approach permits. If there wasn't any approach permits at that time, then the county is probably liable to put these in.
No, they're not.
Well,
No, there have been approach permits for years and years and years.
When I was clerk of the court, there's approach permits all the time.
okay, so then these people would have got a approach
They
permit.
should have. Obviously, a lot of them did not. Because they're not on record anyplace.
No,
Okay, so then the county won't be liable for that.
no. I don't think the county's liable at all. I think the landowners are the liable party. They need to be sent letters specifying, here's what the law says, here's what your duties are. Do it and get it done within 60 days or whatever. just matter of fact.
And when
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're 100% right, and the thing is any time we speak with the public about any issue, we cannot shoot from the hip, period. We have got to do our homework, find out what the regulations and the facts are, and then go back to somebody with that. But we never, ever say something like these folks were told. Why would you send them into a petition process, and why would you do it in order to get firepower against Dana?
There was nothing against Dana.
You know what,
Because
Franklin,
he's talking about this, he's talking all about this road and everything. And that's why I said, get a petition or whatever you need, because he keeps talking about all these other residents, not just him. And that's just, so you have something, so I'd have something on what all is involved, basically.
But that's the wrong way to go about it, I mean, because we're not gonna do it. The individuals are gonna have to do it. The law is really explicit and says, this is what you do and this is how you do it. And
That's fine, as long as we have that, that's, yeah.
But again, you cannot just shoot from the hip and say what you think. You have got to do the homework and get the facts and then move forward. What happened here is unfortunate beyond just our conversation here. What was done to Dana because of this is absolutely unfair to him and his credibility. You owe him an apology. And you need to go back to these folks and take ownership and explain to them what the issues are, and I think we need to follow through, like Elaine said, with the letter and the facts, and make sure they get into compliance. That's not the route Dana wants to go, but I think this issue and Franklin's actions put us in a position of having to educate and then follow through
I
on
think
this.
so.
Well, no matter what action, that's what it takes, now that we have these here and stuff, fine, I have no problem getting that letter out to him. And I say, have Corey draw it up, because he can use all the codes and stuff, and
And we're gonna need a list of all those people that live down there with their mailing addresses.
So Franklin, you'll be following through on that?
I'm not gonna go get the list.
No, are you gonna get with Corey?
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Now, I understand Corey's going for
This week.
This week. I'll put that in my.
I would reiterate my request that you talk to Dana with an apology, and also with this Mr. McKenna, and explain the situation in your error.
He
so
called
that
me again
knows
the
it's
other
not
day.
Dana's fault.
He was unhappy as I do, and he wasn't liking what I guess I had to say at all, and pretty soon he just, that's it. Hung up, right? He hardly said, wasn't much said.
I think I could be like a gypsy woman here.
There you go.
And then when I find the other one, I can have two.
Perfect. There's another issue here, that we need to discuss. The, Parks and Rec Board would like to put in a football field. We were addressed, I don't know, a year and a half ago about, would we agree in concept to them working on a recreation facility?
Now, is this a big boy football field or small fry?
Big boy.
Oh, I thought this was
Well,
small.
when they
fry.
come
And
to that
what I
meeting, that's
know
what it
is
was, a
just what I
small
know from
product.
sitting in on the Parks and Rec Board and Trust Board meetings. So it's really just part of the dream plan process. This is not anything solid that we know at this point.
Mhm.
But there's $1,000 that they got, either part or all from a grant. The Trust Board, I think, funded the full $1,000. What they want to do is buy the old football lights for a new practice field. And they have some conditions here. One, we agree to move the poles and lights, and anything else on the poles at our expense. 2, we agree the poles will either be cut at the ground or pulled with holes filled. 3, we understand the school district will remove power to the poles and be responsible for that. 4, this board offers $1,000 for purchase conditioned on item number 5 below. 5, this bid is conditional on the Parks and Recreation Board discussing, receiving public comment, and voting on the action and cost amount at our next regular board meeting, and the motion passing by a quorum of the voting board members. This
When is
hasn't,
our next meeting?
I don't know, it's Wednesdays at 5, but I can't tell you which one. But my issue here is, they haven't brought any of this to the commission.
No.
I think they need to, as a first step. And second step is, I have some questions on liability on 1 and 2 that need to be addressed. I think there's some homework here that needs to get done that hasn't been.
I remember a year or two ago, they was talking about just kind of a grass field out there for the small fry to, I don't know if they're even gonna have games or not, just to have a practice field, I thought.
But they're up to something that they're gonna take the lights down there.
Yeah.
That's more than small fry.
That's- Yeah, I don't know why they
Is
would.
this the same property that's been talked about at the
Mhm.
city council meeting?
17 acres of county property that used to be the fairgrounds and the horse racing, that's the property.
I'm gonna give that to you. I think Nicole needs to come down to us.
I do too. Oh, I haven't been to a Parks and Rec board meeting in probably three meetings at least. It was talked about very minutely at the time, and I missed the last trust board meeting, but I think it was, the money was given last fall, or voted on. So where this stands at this point, I don't know, but even if I did, it needs to be brought to the full commission, because this is an advisory board. The final decision is ours, the final responsibility is ours. So,
I think she needs to come and take it from the top. This is what we're hoping to do, and,
right, this is the plan.
Who they talking about? We agree to remove the poles and lights.
I think she's talking about the rec board there.
Oh,
Well, did I see that thing in the reporter last week that they were taking down the poles, the lights? Is that right, Sharon?
I don't recall that.
Well, I hope
Did
they
I
haven't
bring
done it
this?
yet.
Well, according-
How DACA does.
well, according to this, they must be gonna put new lights there on the football field?
No, they've got good lights.
That's
I
what I
thought they
thought.
already did new lights there.
They did, but now these old ones are coming. My understanding, the old ones are coming down. I'll have to look at the report.
Are the old ones still up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay.
I'll look at the reporter when I go home because I know Doug will. Because I dreamt that.
I thought they
Oh.
did, they put the new lights up before the football final things, you know, because we had all the games except the very last game here, and I thought I heard somewhere Tom Helm and a group of men got the new football lights up for that.
So we'll give this back to Nicole and have her,
Well, give it to Nicole and tell her that we want her on the agenda for next week.
is she here today, or? Somebody said Nicole wasn't here.
I think that's correct.
She'll be here tomorrow.
If we get on the agenda, we'll have to be a later agenda then. Okay.
Just don't forget it.
Okay, I have another issue. This came up both today and Friday at our meeting, the Mako meeting. John Prinky, who is a Carbon County commissioner, they have been looking for a place to send their inmates. Our number of inmates is down to about a third. 18 was what it was last time we checked. They need 28 to break even, and they had been at, 45 average. So we have a potential train wreck coming, which we talked about the other day. John Prinky, we found out today from Greg, has been looking at Wyoming to send their inmates. He said to me on Friday at the MACO meeting, hey, I just talked to your fellow commissioner. I understand your detention center's full. I said, heck no, it's not full. It's only a third full. We're looking for anybody we can get, and we've been transporting. Oh, so I'm not sure if there's something going on here that we're not aware of, but if you're going to be telling people who need space that we're full, you're going to be hurting Broadwater County's.
I wasn't involved. I heard some guys talking about some spaces and stuff, but I wasn't in the conversation.
Did you talk to John Prinky?
How do you know him? I have
Why
no
would he
idea.
tell me he did talk to you about our detention center?
It wasn't me. I never discussed the detention center at all.
I've known John a long time, and he's a man of honor and integrity. I will email him, though, and follow up on this, and let him know what the current status is, and also share it with Wynn. That's just not okay on many levels.
We need all the people we can get to keep it going.
We do, especially if we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
have a
know
repeat
that.
of the
There's
budgeting
no way I'd
issue
say
with
anything any different.
nothing. Especially if we're gonna have a repeat of having to find money to pay to keep deputies on. We cannot let our detention center get back to having more detention center officers than inmates,
Right.
than paying inmates. Rather not have any Broadwater County inmates, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about DOC, Carbon County, Lewis and Clark County, Stillwater County. Those folks pay to keep our facility operating and for deputies and autos.
Yep.
So we can't sabotage it. The other thing that was brought up at the MACO conference is it takes 51 minutes per employee to fill out the paperwork for the new Affordable Care Act. We're exempt from that completely. Think about 51 minutes is almost an hour, 1 hour per every employee. We have 55, 60 on health insurance. That adds up. So I just wanted to bring that up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And we're totally exempt.
By the grace of God.
Yeah. So, Ryan Madsen emailed me this last week, and we don't know where we're at with the transportation bill, which means we don't know where we're at with the flat grant, which means we don't know where we're at with Goose Bay Road at this point. BOR would like us to talk with them about following up on a concessionaire agreement, much like we have at the silos. In my mind, I think we should keep it on the table so that we have something to work with BOR. I think that we should work with Sharon to find out what's working, what isn't. How can we look at this as a benefit to Broadwater County? Make a decision based on evidence, data, facts, not emotion. But I don't see how we can do anything till we find out about that road. He's looking for a response by the end of the month. I'd be happy to put together a letter to him just stating we're open to discussions, we're open to this idea, but we cannot sit down and negotiate until we have the road paved.
Okay.
If you guys are in agreement on that,
I'm in agreement.
Okay, I'll put together the letter. I just didn't want to put in the time if we didn't have, agreement as far as even talking with them.
Well, and they danced sideways for quite a while, let's face it.
Right, so we're not gonna go over a barrel, but if it can help get that road paved, that's the bottom line here, I think. Those folks are gonna have more and more issues as that campground gets used, as it will undoubtedly be once it's done. And it's just not fair to those homeowners out there. All right, that's all I have.
Anything else over there?
No, I don't believe so, so with that, I guess we'll adjourn. 2:55.
And you'll post for the 10th, Franklin?
So you're adjourned, does this mean there is no closed door resolution meeting?
Right.
Okay.
This is, in the mental health.
I'm gonna
On the
add the
10th.
17th to the list of meetings for next week, if that's okay for the paper. Or would you guys rather that
No.
we do something else? Okay. All right. Oh, July 13th, 4 o'clock, it's